The stars looked the same as always when Commander Zethkar looked out from the bridge of his ship. He had been flying between worlds for 20 years now. His people, the Vortani, were good at exploring space and meeting new species. They had found over 300 different alien races in the galaxy. Most of them were weak and simple. Today was different, though. Today they were going to meet humans. Zethkar was not excited about this mission. His scans showed that Earth was a dangerous world. The gravity was too strong. The weather was violent. Large predators lived everywhere on the surface. He could not understand how any intelligent life could survive there. "Commander, we are getting close to their solar system," said his pilot, a thin blue alien named Keshatar. "Good. Set course for the third planet, but stay far away from it. I do not want to get too close to that death world." Dr. Elisa floated in her water tank nearby. She was from the Myrtle race and needed to stay underwater to breathe. Her voice came through a speaker built into her tank. "Sir, I have been studying the data about humans. They are carbon-based life forms, just like most species we have found. Their bodies are small and soft. They have thin bones and weak muscles. They should be easy to deal with." Zethkar nodded. This was what he expected. Every time they found a new species, they were always weaker than the races already in the Galactic Council. Humans would probably be the same. "Commander," Kestar called out suddenly, "there is a ship coming toward us. It is very small." The main screen, they could see a tiny craft flying toward them. It was maybe 1/10 the size of their exploration vessel. The design was simple and rough. It looked like it was made from basic metals. "They are trying to talk to us, sir," said the communications officer. "Put them through." The screen changed to show the inside of the human ship. A single human male sat in the pilot seat. He had short brown hair and wore a blue uniform. He looked calm and relaxed. "Hello there," the human said with a smile. "I'm Captain Jake Morrison of the Earth Defense Fleet. Welcome to our solar system. We've been waiting for you." Zethkar was surprised. Most new species were afraid when they first met the Galactic Council. This human seemed happy to see them. "Greetings, human. I am Commander Zethkar. We come in peace to learn about your people." "That's great to hear. Would you like to meet at the neutral station? It's about halfway between our ships." Zethkar looked at his crew. They all seemed confused. New species usually needed weeks to prepare for first contact. This human was ready right away. "Very well. We will meet you there in 1 hour." The neutral station was a small space platform that both ships could dock with safely. It had breathable air for most species and artificial gravity set to galactic standard, about 40% of Earth's gravity. When the airlock opened, Jake Morrison stepped through. He was about 6 feet tall with a normal human build. Nothing about him seemed special or dangerous. But when he walked, his footsteps made loud sounds on the metal floor. "Nice to meet you all in person," Jake said, extending his hand toward Zethkar. The Vortani commander had studied human customs. He knew this was called a handshake. He reached out and grasped Jake's hand. The pain was immediate. Jake's grip felt like it could crush stone. Zethkar tried not to show his discomfort as they shook hands, but he was relieved when Jake let go. "Sorry about that," Jake said, noticing Zethkar flexing his fingers. "I sometimes forget how strong humans can be compared to others." Dr. Alyssa rolled her tank closer to examine Jake. Her sensors were running constantly, taking readings of his body. "Fascinating," she said to her speaker. "Your bone density is remarkably high, and your muscle fiber composition is unlike anything in our database." Jake laughed. "Well, you have to be tough to survive on Earth. Our world isn't exactly gentle." "Yes, we noticed that from our scans," Zethkar said. "Your gravity is quite high, and your weather systems are very violent." "Oh, that's just normal for us. We're used to it." As they talked, Jake noticed a large stone sitting on a nearby table. It was dark gray and polished smooth. 3 small symbols were carved into its surface. "What's this?" Jake asked, walking over to the stone. "That is a ceremonial greeting stone," Zethkar explained. "It represents the strength and endurance of our alliance. It weighs about 90 kilograms. Jake nodded and reached down to pick up the stone. He lifted it easily with one hand, examining the carved symbols. "These are beautiful. What do they mean?" Every alien in the room stared in shock. The greeting stone required 3 adult Vortani to live together. It was supposed to demonstrate the combined strength of different species working as one. But this human had picked it up like it weighed nothing at all. How? ... How did you do that? Kesta asked in a whisper. Jake looked confused. Do what? Pick up this rock. It's not that heavy. Dr. Alyssa's sensors were going crazy. Her readings showed that Jake's casual grip strength was enough to crack the stone if he squeezed harder. On Earth, rocks this size are pretty common, Jake continued, setting the stone back down gently. I used to move bigger ones when I helped my dad with landscaping as a kid. Zethkar felt a chill run through his body. If humans could lift heavy stones as children, what could they do as adults? Perhaps we should continue our meeting, the commander said, trying to keep his voice steady. As they walked through the station, Jake noticed that an emergency hatch had been sealed shut. A red warning light flashed next to it. Looks like you have a problem here, Jake said, stopping at the hatch. Yes, that hatch is stuck, Kestar explained. The locking mechanism is jammed. We will need to bring special tools from our ship to open it. Special tools? Let me take a look. Jake examined the hatch for a moment. Then he grabbed the wheel-shaped handle and turned it. Metal groaned and bent as the supposedly frozen mechanism began to move with a loud click. The hatch unlocked. There you go. Should work fine now. The aliens stared at the bent metal around the handle. The emergency hatch was designed to withstand asteroid impacts. The locking mechanism required hydraulic tools to force open when jammed, but Jake had opened it with his bare hands. Jake, Dr. Elissa said carefully, exactly how strong are humans? Jake shrugged. I don't know. Normal strong, I guess. Why? Do you ask what you just did? Opening that hatch, it should be impossible without machinery. Really? Seemed pretty easy to me. Maybe your metal is softer than what we use on Earth. Zethkar and his crew exchanged worried looks. They were beginning to realize that their first contact mission had become something much more complicated. If this human was telling the truth about being normal for his species, then humanity might be the most physically powerful race in the known galaxy. And they had no idea what humans planned to do with that power. Jake seemed to notice their concern. Hey, is everything okay? You all look a little worried. We are fine, Zethkar said quickly. Just surprised by human capabilities. Oh, don't worry about that. Humans are pretty peaceful. We just want to be friends and learn about the galaxy. As Jake smiled and continued talking about Earth's culture and history, the aliens realized they might have made first contact with a species that could reshape the balance of power in the entire galaxy. The only question was whether humanity would use their incredible strength to help or to conquer. Looking at Jake's friendly demeanor and genuine curiosity about their species, Zethkar hoped it would be the former. But he made a mental note to warn the Galactic Council immediately about what they had discovered. Humans were not like other species they had encountered. They were something entirely new and potentially very dangerous, even if they didn't seem to know it themselves. 3 weeks had passed since the first meeting with Captain Jake Morrison. The news of human strength had spread quickly through the Galactic Council, but most members thought the reports were exaggerated. They decided to send a cultural exchange officer to learn more about humanity. Lisa Chen stepped off the transport ship and onto the Council's main research station. She was a young woman with black hair tied back in a simple ponytail. She wore casual clothes and carried a single backpack with her belongings. To her, this was just an exciting chance to meet alien species and learn about their cultures. The research station orbited a huge gas giant called Kepler-4 for 2b. It was home to over 50 different alien species, all working together to study the galaxy. The station used standard galactic gravity, which meant everything felt much lighter than on Earth. Dr. Elissa was waiting for Lisa at the docking bay. Her water tank had been fitted with wheels so she could move around the station easily. Welcome, Lisa Chen. I am Dr. Elissa, the station's chief scientist. We are very excited to learn about human culture. Lisa smiled and waved. Thanks for having me. This place is amazing. I can't wait to meet everyone. As they walked through the station, Lisa noticed how easy it was to move around. Each step felt like she was bouncing slightly. The hallways were wide and tall, designed for species much larger than humans. The gravity here feels really light, Lisa said. Is this normal for your species? Yes, this is standard gravity throughout the galaxy. Most species evolved on worlds with lower gravity than Earth. Your planet is considered quite extreme. They passed a group of maintenance workers trying to move a large piece of equipment. 3 tall, thin aliens were struggling to lift a metal box that looked about the size of a refrigerator. They were making slow progress and breathing heavily. Need some help? Lisa asked, walking over to them. The aliens looked confused. One of them, a pale blue creature with 4 arms, spoke up. This equipment is very heavy. We need to wait for more workers. Let me give it a try, Lisa said. Before anyone could stop her, Lisa bent down and picked up the metal box. She lifted it easily and held it against her chest like it was a small package. Where do you want it? She asked. The maintenance workers stared at her in complete silence. Their mouths hung open in shock. The box weighed over 300 pounds and was made of solid metal. It should have been impossible for one person to lift, especially someone as small as Lisa. Double quotes, over there. One of them stammered, pointing to a nearby room. Lisa walked over and set the box down gently. There you go. Anything else you need moved? The aliens shook their heads quickly and hurried away, whispering to each other in their own language. Dr. Alyssa had watched the whole thing. Her sensors showed readings that seemed impossible. Lisa's muscles had barely worked at all while lifting the heavy equipment. Lisa, we need to run some tests, Dr. Alyssa said, for science purposes. They went to the medical bay, where Dr. Ela began her examination. She started with basic measurements like height and weight. Lisa was 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighed about 130 pounds. Nothing unusual there, but when Dr. Elissa tested Lisa's grip strength, the results were terrifying. Lisa squeezed the testing device as gently as she could, but the readings showed 180 pounds of pressure per square inch. Is that good? Lisa asked. Dr. Elissa checked her readings 3 times. Most galactic species had grip strength between 20 and 40 pounds per square inch. Lisa's relaxed grip was strong enough to crush the bones of almost every known alien race. Let's try some other tests, Dr. Elissa said, her voice shaking slightly. She led Lisa to the exercise room and asked her to jump as high as she could. Lisa bent her knees and jumped upward. She shot up nearly to the 12-foot ceiling before coming back down. Wow, that felt great, Lisa said, landing softly. The low gravity here is really fun. Dr. Elissa made more notes. On Earth, Lisa's jump would have been maybe 2 feet high. Here, with the lighter gravity, she had jumped 6 times higher than any other species could manage. Next, Dr. Elissa asked Lisa to help rearrange some furniture in the laboratory. Lisa grabbed a metal table and slid it across the room. As she moved it, she unconsciously gripped the edge tighter. The thick metal bent under her fingers like soft clay. Oh no, I'm sorry, Lisa said, looking at the bent table. I didn't mean to break it. It's not broken, Dr. Elissa said weakly. It's just reshaped. The table was made from titanium steel alloy, one of the strongest materials in the galaxy. It was designed to withstand impacts from small meteors, but Lisa had bent it by accident while trying to be careful. Word spread quickly through the station about the humans' incredible strength. Soon, aliens were finding excuses to walk past the laboratory just to see. Lisa, she was completely unaware of the attention and continued helping Dr. Elissa with her research. During lunch, Lisa joined other researchers in the main cafeteria. She sat at a table with several different alien species, all eager to learn about Earth culture. Tell us about human sports, asked a reptilian alien named Corks. What do you do for fun? Oh, I love playing tennis, Lisa said. And I go hiking with my boyfriend Danny on weekends. He's really strong. He works in construction. The aliens exchanged nervous glances. If Lisa was this powerful, what was her boyfriend like? What kind of construction work does he do? Asked another alien. He builds houses and office buildings. He can carry steel beams and concrete blocks all day long. Sometimes I help him on small projects, but I'm not nearly as strong as he is. Dr. Elissa nearly dropped her breathing apparatus. If Lisa wasn't considered strong by human standards, then what were the strong humans capable of? After lunch, Lisa offered to help clean up. She picked up a tray of dishes and walked toward the kitchen. But as she walked, she unconsciously gripped the handrail along the wall. The metal rail crumpled under her fingers like paper. "Sorry about that," Lisa said, looking at the destroyed handrail. "I guess I'm still getting used to how light everything feels here." The kitchen staff watched in terror as Lisa continued cleaning, leaving a trail of accidentally destroyed objects behind her. She bent spoons while stirring, cracked plates while washing them, and twisted the handle off a cabinet door while trying to open it. "I'm so clumsy today," Lisa said apologetically. "Everything here seems so delicate." That evening, Dr. Elissa reviewed the security footage from Lisa's first day on the station. What she saw made her blood run cold. The video showed Lisa performing dozens of impossible feats throughout the day, all while acting completely normal. She watched Lisa open sealed containers that required special tools by simply twisting off the caps with her fingers. She saw Lisa accidentally punch through a wall panel while trying to turn on a light switch. She observed Lisa walking faster than most aliens could run, not realizing that others were struggling to keep up with her. The most frightening moment came when Lisa had tried to help fix a broken door. The door was stuck in its frame, and maintenance crews had been working on it for hours. Lisa had simply grabbed the door and pulled it out of the frame. The thick metal frame had bent and twisted as she removed the door, but she had acted like it was the most natural thing in the world. Dr. Elissa called an emergency meeting with Commander Zefkar and the other senior staff members. "We have a problem," she announced. "Lisa Chen is not an exceptional human. According to her, she is completely average. She mentioned that her boyfriend is much stronger than she is. She also said that professional athletes and military personnel are far more powerful than regular civilians like herself." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. They had been worried about meeting one strong human, but now they realized that Lisa might be one of the weakest members of her species. "There's more," Dr. Elissa continued. "I asked Lisa about human children. She told me that teenagers regularly play sports that would be impossible for our strongest warriors. She mentioned that human children as young as 10 years old can lift weights that would challenge our adult maintenance crews." Commander Zefkar felt sick. "What have we discovered? A species that evolved on a death world," Dr. Elissa replied. "They don't realize how strong they are because everyone around them is equally powerful. To them, bending metal and jumping impossible heights is normal." As they talked, Lisa was in her quarters making a video call to her boyfriend Danny back on Earth. She was excited to tell him about all the interesting aliens she had met. "The only weird thing is that everything here is so fragile," she said to the camera. "I keep breaking things by accident. I think their technology isn't very advanced." Danny laughed on the screen. "Just be careful, babe. Remember when you broke the gym equipment at home? Some things just aren't built to handle normal use." Lisa nodded and said goodnight to Danny. She had no idea that her casual conversation was being monitored by terrified aliens who were beginning to understand that humanity might be the most dangerous species in the galaxy. The frightening part was that humans seemed to have no idea how powerful they really were. The alarm bells rang throughout the Galactic Council's military headquarters. Admiral Kethmero, a large insect-like creature with 4 arms, rushed to the main command center. His second-in-command, Colonel Vexter, was already waiting with bad news. "Sir, the Kethmer pirates have attacked 3 trading ships near the Centauri system. Colonel Vextar reported they have taken hostages and are demanding tribute from all vessels passing through their space." Admiral Kethmero clicked his mandibles in frustration. The Kethmer were a violent reptilian species known for their brutal raids. They were bigger and stronger than most galactic species, which made them very dangerous. "How many ships do they have?" 5 warships, including their flagship Bone Crusher. "Our scouts report they have over 200 warriors aboard." The Admiral studied the tactical display. His own fleet had been spread thin across multiple systems. He could gather maybe 30 ships to fight the pirates, but it would take days to assemble them. The hostages would be dead by then. "Sir, We have received a communication from the human ship Terran Guardian, Colonel Vextar said. Captain Jake Morrison is offering assistance. Admiral Kethmero remembered the reports about human strength. Most council members still thought those reports were exaggerated. But with no other options available, he decided to accept the offer. Tell them yes. Every ship helps. 20 minutes later, the Terran Guardian arrived at the rendezvous point. It was a small ship, maybe 1/5 the size of a standard council warship. The design looked simple and rough, like most human technology. Captain Jake Morrison appeared on the communication screen, along with 2 other humans. One was a woman with short brown hair wearing military armor. The other was a man in a blue jumpsuit. This is Captain Morrison. With me are Marine Sergeant Amy Rodriguez and Engineer Ben Parker. We're ready to help. Admiral Kethmero looked at the tiny human ship with doubt. Captain Morrison, are you certain your vessel can engage in combat? The Kethmer ships are much larger. Jake smiled. Don't worry about us, Admiral. We humans are pretty good at fighting. The Admiral was not convinced, but he needed every ship he could get very well. Follow our lead and stay behind the main battle line. As the combined fleet approached the pirate ships, Admiral Kethmero could see why the Kethmer were so confident. Their flagship was a massive vessel covered in armor and weapons. The smaller pirate ships were still larger than most council warships. All ships, begin the attack, the Admiral ordered. The battle started badly for the council forces. The ships had stronger shields and more powerful weapons. Several council ships were damaged in the first few minutes of fighting. Then the Terran Guardian joined the battle, and everything changed. The small human ship moved like nothing the Admiral had ever seen. It twisted and turned through space at impossible speeds, dodging weapons fire that should have been unavoidable. The ship pulled turns so sharp that the forces should have killed anyone inside. How are they doing that? Colonel Vextar asked in amazement. On the bridge of the Terran Guardian, Captain Jake was calmly piloting the ship through a series of 12 G-turns. The forces pushing against his body would have crushed any other known species, but he acted like it was normal flying. Amy, can you hit their weapon systems? Jake asked. Sergeant Amy Rodriguez was operating the ship's main gun, a weapon system that generated massive recoil with each shot. The recoil was strong enough to break the bones of any galactic species, but Amy fired it rapidly without showing any strain. Got it, she said, destroying 2 pirate gun turrets with perfect accuracy. In the engine room, Ben Parker was manually adjusting the ship's power systems during combat. The control panels required tremendous force to operate under battle conditions. Parts of the machinery weighed several hundred pounds each and needed to be lifted and moved by hand during repairs. Power levels holding steady. Ben reported casually lifting a 500-pound power coupling and moving it to a new position. The Kethmer pirates were confused and frightened by the human ship. It moved too fast and hit too hard. Their weapons couldn't lock onto it, and their armor couldn't stop its attacks. Target the small ship, the pirate captain roared. Destroy those demons. But the more they tried to hit the Terran Guardian, the more impossible it seemed. The human ship fought like it was playing a game, dodging attacks that no pilot should be able to avoid. Admiral, we need to board their flagship and rescue the hostages, Jake said over the radio. Can you give us cover? Admiral Kethmero was amazed by what he was seeing. The tiny human ship had destroyed more pirate vessels in 30 minutes than his entire fleet had managed. Are you sure you can handle boarding operations? The Kethmer are dangerous fighters. We'll be fine. Humans are pretty tough. The Terran Guardian flew directly at the massive pirate flagship. Instead of docking normally, it crashed through the ship's hangar bay doors, tearing through metal barriers like they were made of paper. Jake, Amy, and Ben stepped out of their ship and found themselves facing dozens of armed Kethmer pirates. The pirates were huge reptilian creatures, each one standing over 7 feet tall and weighing more than 400 pounds. They had thick scales for armor and carried weapons designed for their massive strength. The pirates attacked immediately, thinking 3 small humans would be easy prey. They were very wrong. Amy Rodriguez moved through the pirates like they were standing still. She punched through their thick armor with her bare hands, sending 600-pound warriors flying across the corridor. When she ran out of room to fight, she grabbed 2 pirates and threw them into a group of their friends. Ben Parker picked up a pirate weapon that weighed over 50 pounds and used it like a club. Each swing knocked down multiple enemies. When the weapon broke from the impact, he simply picked up another one. Jake Morrison fought the pirate captain, a massive creature known as Skullbreaker, who had never lost a battle. The fight lasted less than 2 minutes. Jake avoided the captain's powerful attacks easily, then grabbed him and lifted him off the ground. "Surrender now, and no one else gets hurt," Jake said calmly. Skullbreaker, dangling helplessly in Jake's grip, looked around at his defeated crew. Half of them were unconscious. The other half were too scared to move. "I surrender," he whispered. The security cameras throughout the pirate ship had recorded everything. The footage showed 3 humans casually defeating over 200 of the galaxy's most feared warriors. The pirates looked like children fighting against adults. Admiral Kethmero watched the recordings in stunned silence. The humans had accomplished in 30 minutes what his best military units couldn't do in hours of fighting. And they had done it while actively trying not to kill their enemies. "Sir, we are receiving surrender signals from all remaining pirate ships," Colonel Vextar reported. The entire Kethmer fleet was giving up. Word of what had happened aboard the flagship had spread quickly. No one wanted to fight the humans after seeing what they could do. Captain Jake's voice came over the radio. "Admiral, we've secured all the hostages. Everyone is safe and ready for transport back to their ships." "Understood, Captain. Excellent work." But Admiral Kethmero was thinking about more than just this battle. The humans had shown military capabilities far beyond anything in the galaxy. Their ship could outmaneuver anything in space. Their soldiers could defeat entire armies. Their technology was built for forces that would kill other species. "Colonel, send an urgent message to the High Council," the Admiral ordered. "Tell them that humans are not just physically strong. They are the most powerful military force we have ever encountered." "What should we recommend, sir?" Admiral Kethmero watched the Terran Guardian flying peacefully alongside the rescued trading ships. The humans were escorting the civilian vessels to safety, protecting them like gentle guardians. "Recommend that we make them our allies immediately," he said. "Because if humans ever decide to become our enemies, the galaxy will fall in a matter of days." On the bridge of the Terran Guardian, Jake was talking with Amy and Ben about their next assignment. "Not bad for a day's work," Amy said, cleaning her equipment. "Yeah, those pirates weren't too tough," Ben agreed. "I was expecting more of a fight." Jake nodded and set course for Earth. To them, it had been a routine mission. They had no idea that their casual demonstration of human military power had just changed the balance of the entire galaxy. The Kethmer pirates, now prisoners aboard council ships, would spend the rest of their lives telling other species about the day they met demons, who fought like gods and showed mercy like angels. But the galaxy was only beginning to understand what humans were truly capable of. The news traveled fast through the galaxy. Within days, every major species had heard about the human victory over the Kethmer pirates. The story grew with each telling, but even the basic facts were hard to believe. On the homeworld of the Empire, Emperor Corthax called an emergency meeting with his military commander. The Zephyrians were proud of their strength and had conquered dozens of weaker species over the centuries. "Is it true?" the Emperor asked his intelligence chief. "Did 3 humans really defeat 200 Kethmer warriors?" "Yes, my lord. We have verified the security footage. The humans moved through the pirate ship like the enemies were not even there." Emperor Corthax was not worried. His people were bigger and stronger than the Keth. If humans could beat pirates, then surely a Zephyrian warrior could beat a human. "Send General Corax to challenge their strongest fighter," the Emperor ordered. "We will show the galaxy that Zephyrians are still the supreme warriors." General Corax was the pride of the Zephyrian military. He stood 8 feet tall and weighed over 400 pounds of solid muscle. He had never lost a battle in 30 years of fighting. His strength was legendary even among his own people. The challenge was sent to Earth through official diplomatic channels. The message was simple: send your greatest warrior to face General Corax in single combat. The winner would prove which species was stronger. Earth's response surprised everyone. Instead of sending a soldier or athlete, they sent Lucy Taylor. Lucy was a 22-year-old college student who worked part-time at a gym. She had blonde hair and was 5 feet 4 inches tall. She weighed about 120 pounds. To the aliens watching, she looked like a child. The combat was scheduled to take place on the neutral station where humans and aliens had first met. Representatives from dozens of species came to watch. Everyone wanted to see if the stories about human strength were really true. General Corax arrived in full battle armor, carrying weapons designed for his massive frame. He looked like a walking tank, covered in metal plates and armed with energy weapons. Lucy stepped off her transport ship, wearing gym clothes and carrying a water bottle. She looked around at all the aliens with curiosity and excitement. "Wow, this is amazing," she said to the station commander. "I've never seen so many different species in one place." "You are not afraid of the combat?" asked Commander Zefkar. Lucy laughed. "It's not really combat. I was told it's more like a demonstration. I just need to show what humans can do." General Corax stepped into the combat ring, making the metal floor shake with each step. His voice boomed through his helmet. "Speakers, human, I am General Corax, champion of the Zephyrian Empire. Prepare to face your defeat." Lucy waved at him cheerfully. "Hi there, I'm Lucy. Nice to meet you." The general was confused by her casual attitude. He had expected fear or at least respect from his opponent. "Do you not understand? We are here to fight. I will show the galaxy that Zephyrians are stronger than humans." "Oh, I understand," Lucy said. "But I was told to be really careful not to hurt anyone. Humans are pretty strong, so I need to be gentle." The aliens in the audience murmured among themselves. This small human female was talking about being gentle with one of the most feared warriors in the galaxy. General Corax decided to end this quickly. He charged at Lucy with all his speed and strength, planning to knock her down with a single blow. Lucy saw him coming and stepped to the side. As he passed by, she reached out and gently tapped his shoulder with her finger. The tap sent the 400-pound general flying across the ring. He hit the far wall and collapsed to the ground, unconscious. Lucy looked worried and hurried over to check on him. "Oh no, did I hit him too hard? I was trying to be really gentle." The audience sat in complete silence. The most powerful warrior in the Zephyrian Empire had been defeated by what looked like a casual touch from a human college student. Dr. Elisa, who was recording everything, checked her instruments. The force of Lucy's gentle tap had been enough to lift a small spacecraft, but Lucy had delivered it with the same casual motion someone might use to get a friend's attention. Word of General Corax's defeat spread even faster than news of the pirate battle. This time, there was no question about what had happened. Hundreds of witnesses had seen a human knock out the galaxy's strongest warrior with a single finger. The Galactic Council called an emergency session. Representatives from every major species gathered to discuss what they now called the human problem. Ambassador Helen Cross arrived to represent humanity at the emergency meeting. She was a middle-aged woman with gray hair and a kind face. She wore a simple business suit and carried a briefcase full of diplomatic papers. The council chamber was enormous, designed to hold representatives from species of all different sizes. Helen took her seat at the human delegation table, which looked tiny compared to the platforms built for larger species. "The council recognizes Ambassador Helen Cross of the human species," announced the chamber's speaker system. Helen stood up and smiled at the assembled delegates. "Thank you for inviting me to speak. I hope we can clear up any misunderstandings about humanity." "Misunderstandings," roared Ambassador Thekmer of the Kethmer Pirates. "Your people destroyed our fleet and humiliated our warriors." "Actually, I think you have that backwards," Helen said politely. "Your people attacked innocent traders and took hostages. Our people stopped you from hurting anyone else." As she spoke, Helen unconsciously picked up a ceremonial water glass from her table. The glass was made from crystallized metal, designed to be unbreakable. But as Helen held it while talking, her casual grip slowly crushed it into powder. Furthermore, Helen continued, not noticing the destroyed glass, "I want to assure everyone that humans have no intention of conquering or threatening anyone. She reached for a ceremonial datapad that contained the meeting agenda. The pad was encased in a protective shell designed to survive spacecraft crashes. As Helen tried to open it, she got frustrated with the complicated latch system. "These things are always so hard to open," she muttered, and crushed the entire protective case between her palms like it was made of paper. The alien delegates watched in horror as Helen casually destroyed objects that were supposed to be indestructible. All while talking about peaceful intentions. "As you can see from our history," Helen said, pulling out papers from her briefcase, "humans prefer cooperation to conflict." But as she pulled out the papers, she accidentally gripped the edge of the metal table. Her fingers went through the solid steel surface like it was soft clay, leaving perfect finger holes in the supposedly indestructible furniture. "Oh, I'm sorry about that," Helen said, noticing the damaged table. "I keep forgetting how delicate everything is here. I'll pay for any repairs, of course." The crystalline hive mind, the most advanced species in the galaxy, activated their quantum computers to run probability calculations. Their queen's mental voice echoed through the chamber. "Mathematical analysis indicates that a single motivated human could theoretically conquer our entire civilization. Our crystal cities would crumble. Under their casual touch, our strongest warriors could not resist their weakest children." "That's ridiculous," Helen said, laughing. "Humans aren't violent. We just want to explore space and make friends." As she said this, Helen leaned on the podium to address the audience better. The podium was made from compressed titanium and was supposed to support the weight of the largest species in the galaxy. Under Helen's casual touch, it slowly bent and twisted out of shape. "Besides," Helen continued, "I'm just a diplomat. If you want to see what humans are really capable of, you should meet our athletes or soldiers." The temperature in the chamber seemed to drop as the implications of her words sank in. If Helen was just an ordinary diplomat, what were human specialists? Like the economic representatives in the audience were already making calculations. Human children could apparently carry weapons that required 3 aliens to lift. Human vehicles could outmaneuver anything in space. Human soldiers could defeat entire armies. "Ambassador Cross," said the trade minister of the Galactic Commerce Union, his voice shaking, "what do humans want from the galaxy?" Helen smiled warmly. "We want to be friends. We want to learn about your cultures and share our own. We want to explore space together and discover new worlds. And if someone attacks humans, ask the military representative of the Outer Rim Coalition." Helen's expression became serious for the first time. "Then we protect ourselves and our friends. But we always try to solve problems peacefully first." As the meeting continued, Helen unconsciously demonstrated dozens of impossible feats. She opened sealed emergency containers with her fingernails. She bent supposedly unbreakable communication devices when they didn't work properly. She left handprints in solid metal every time she touched something by the end of the meeting. The council chamber looked like a disaster zone. Tables were bent, equipment was crushed, and structural supports had been accidentally damaged by Helen's casual movements. "I hope this meeting has been helpful," Helen said as she prepared to leave. "Humans are looking forward to working with all of you." After she left, the chamber sat in stunned silence. Finally, the Zephyrian Emperor spoke what everyone was thinking. "We must make them our allies immediately." 6 months had passed since the galaxy learned about human strength. Everything had changed. The old rules of galactic politics no longer worked when one species could accidentally break everything they touched. Captain Ryan Murphy stood on the observation deck of Haven 7, the first human peacekeeping base. The small planet had been chosen as neutral ground where different species could meet safely. Ryan was a former Navy officer with short red hair and a calm personality. He had volunteered for this assignment because he enjoyed helping others. "The morning reports, sir," said Engineer Kate Anderson, walking up to him with a tablet computer. Kate was a tall woman with brown hair who specialized in building things. She had designed most of the base's special equipment. "How are our guests doing?" Ryan asked. "Pretty well. The Murtho delegation is happy with their new water facilities. The Vortani trade group finished their negotiations without any problems, and the crystalline representatives say they feel safer than they have in decades." Ryan nodded. The peacekeeping base was working exactly as planned. Just having humans nearby had ended conflicts that had lasted for centuries. No species wanted to fight when they knew humans were watching. Any new requests for protection? Ryan asked. 3 more systems want us to establish bases there. The Peaceful Trade Coalition is asking for human escorts on all their cargo ships. And the Outer Rim colonies want to hire human security guards. This had become normal over the past few months. Word had spread that humans could keep everyone safe just by being present. Pirates avoided any area where humans might be stationed. Aggressive species became polite and reasonable when humans were in the room. We'll need more volunteers from Earth, Ryan said. We can't protect everyone with just the few hundred humans we have out here, Kate smiled. Actually, we won't need that many. I've been watching the effect humans have on conflicts. Most of the time, we don't even need to do anything. Other species just behave better when they know we're around. This was true. The galaxy had quickly learned that humans preferred peaceful solutions to everything. But everyone also knew what happened to those who attacked human friends. The Kethmer pirates were still in prison, telling horror stories about fighting humans to anyone who would listen. Dr. Alyssa arrived at the base that morning for her monthly research visit. Her water tank had been upgraded with new mobility systems designed by Kate. Now she could move around much more easily. Good morning, Dr. Alyssa, Ryan said. How is your research going? Very interesting, she replied through her speaker system. I have been studying why humans evolved to be so strong. The answer is quite amazing. She led them to the research laboratory where she had been working. The walls were covered with charts and data about Earth's environment. Your planet is what we call a death world, Dr. Alyssa explained. The gravity is 3 times stronger than galactic standard. Your weather systems are incredibly violent. Your atmospheric pressure would crush most species. And your planet is full of dangerous predators. Ryan and Kate looked at the data with interest. To them, Earth seemed like a normal, pleasant world. Humans did not just survive on this death world. Dr. Alyssa continued. You thrived. You became the dominant species. Your butt is adapted to handle forces that would kill almost any other intelligent life. That's why everything here seems so fragile to us. Kate realized we're built for a much tougher environment. Exactly. What you consider normal living conditions would be a nightmare survival scenario for most galactic species. Dr. Ela showed them more data. Human bone density was 5 times higher than average. Human muscle fibers were designed to work under extreme stress. Human cardiovascular systems could function at pressures that would burst alien hearts. The most amazing thing is that humans don't realize how special they are, Dr. Alyssa said. You think your abilities are normal because everyone around you has the same capabilities. A communication alarm sounded in the laboratory. Kate checked the incoming message on her tablet. Ryan, we have a problem. The cargo ship Golden Star is under attack near the Kepler system. The crew is asking for help. Ryan immediately headed for the hangar bay. Get our ship ready. How many attackers are there? The message says 5 ships from an unknown species. They're demanding tribute from all vessels in that area. Within 10 minutes, Ryan and Kate were aboard their patrol ship Defender. The ship was small by galactic standards, but built to human specifications. It could accelerate and maneuver at forces that would kill alien pilots as they flew toward the Kepler system. Kate worked on identifying the attackers. I've got them on long-range sensors, she said. They're from a species called the Rickstar. Never heard of them before. Probably a new aggressive species trying to establish territory, Ryan said. Let's go have a talk with them. When they arrived at the battle scene, they found the cargo ship surrounded by 5 large warships. The Golden Star was a civilian vessel with no weapons, crewed by peaceful traders from multiple species. Unknown ships. This is Captain Ryan Murphy of the Human Peacekeeping Force. Ryan broadcast on all frequencies. Release the cargo ship immediately and withdraw from this area. The response came back in a harsh, growling voice. Humans, we do not fear your kind. This area now belongs to the Rickstar Empire. Pay tribute or be destroyed. Ryan sighed. This Happens sometimes with new species who hadn't heard about humans yet. Kate, can you disable their weapons without hurting anyone? Give me 30 seconds, Kate said. Working at her control station, the Rickstar ships opened fire, sending massive energy bolts toward the small human ship. But Ryan piloted the Defender through the attacks easily, moving at accelerations that would have crushed any alien pilot. Kate targeted the alien weapon systems with surgical precision. Her shots hit exactly where she aimed, destroying guns and missile launchers without damaging the ship's life support systems. Within 2 minutes, all 5 Rickstar ships were helpless. Their weapons were gone, but their crews were unharmed. "This is impossible," the Rickstar commander broadcast. "How did you do that?" "Practice," Ryan replied simply. "Now, are you ready to talk peacefully?" The Rickstar ships surrendered immediately. Their commander requested permission to come aboard the Defender to negotiate. Commander Krax was a large, lizard-like creature with thick armor plating and sharp claws. He expected to meet with fearsome warriors who had defeated his ships so easily. Instead, he found Ryan and Kate in a small, comfortable meeting room. They offered him water and asked if he was comfortable. "You are the humans," Krax asked, confused. "But you are so small." "Size isn't everything," Kate said with a smile. "We prefer to solve problems without violence." They explained the galactic peacekeeping system to Krax. Humans protected peaceful species from aggressive ones. In return, everyone worked together to explore space and share knowledge. "But what do humans gain from this arrangement?" Krax asked. "Friends," Ryan said. "We get to meet interesting species and learn about different cultures. That's worth more to us than conquest or tribute." Krax was amazed by this concept. His species had always believed that strength should be used to dominate others. The idea of using power to protect the weak was completely foreign to him. "What happens if we refuse to cooperate?" Krax asked. Kate and Ryan exchanged glances. They had hoped not to demonstrate, but sometimes it was necessary. "Kate, could you show Commander Krax what human engineering can do?" Kate walked over to a metal support beam that ran along the wall of the meeting room. The beam was made from advanced alloys and was designed to hold up the entire structure. She gripped it with both hands and slowly bent it into a pretzel shape. "This is us being gentle and careful," Kate explained, setting the twisted metal aside. "We really don't want to hurt anyone." Commander Krax stared at the destroyed support beam. His ship's metal was not much stronger than what Kate had just bent with her bare hands. "We choose cooperation," he said quickly. The Rickstar Empire became the newest members of the Galactic Peaceful Alliance. Commander Krax returned to his people with stories of humans who could destroy warships but chose to protect the innocent instead. 3 months later, the joint exploration vessel New Horizons launched from the Haven 7 base. The ship was crewed by humans and aliens working together to explore unknown regions of space. Navigator Sam Wilson plotted courses through dangerous asteroid fields that other species couldn't navigate. Communications Officer Tina Roberts managed translation systems that let dozens of species talk to each other when they discovered a new solar system with signs of intelligent life. The mixed crew worked together to make peaceful contact. The aliens provided scientific knowledge and cultural expertise. The humans provided protection and the physical capability to handle dangerous situations. During their first mission, the ship suffered damage from a meteor storm. Several alien crew members were injured when a bulkhead collapsed. Sam Wilson immediately lifted the heavy metal debris off the trapped aliens, holding tons of weight steady while the medical team worked. Tina Roberts manually sealed a hull breach by holding 2 pieces of the ship's outer armor together until repair crews could fix the damage permanently. She stood in the vacuum of space for 20 minutes, her suit protecting her while she used her strength to save the ship.